Where is that movie I want to review? Ah, it's over here. I downsized it. Hold on a minute. There we go. Now let's get on with it. Downsizing is a film directed by Alexander Pine, who made films such as The Descendants, starring Matt Damon, Kristen Wiig, Chung Cho, and Christopher Watts. It's a film basically about what if we can downsize our population and so that we can save our environment and we can share less resources. So Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig, they decided to went through this transformation because some of their friends has done so in the same way and they benefited a lot from it. He went through the process, his wife didn't, and therefore he has to deal with a lot of wacky adventures alone. The trailer came out a couple months ago. Me and my friends were watching Thor Ragnarok, and we were saying, this is a very boring trailer. There's absolutely no story, just a bunch of people being Ant-Man, and there's none of the actions, none of the fun. And then I thought to myself, there were a lot of instances in the past where a trailer was not impressive, but it still surprised me in the end. And by that, I meant Guardians of the Galaxy. So I had some high hope, thinking they were hiding a lot of stuff, so that when the moment comes, it will surprise us. Well, very unfortunately, the whole trailer is more funny than the movie. Now, before I get into my negatives, I want to say something positive about this movie. The cinematography is amazing. They use a lot of clever camera tricks to make somebody look small while they were still on the big form. And also, I really liked some of the shots. They look very pretty. There was a lot of miniature sets. That is something I'm really surprised in an age that we rely on a lot of CGI. The best acting performance of this movie is Chung Cho. You can tell she gave everything. She is the most likable character of the whole film. You feel the way she feels. And she got nominated for a Golden Globe, which is more than deserves. If she get nominated for an Oscar, I will be very happy. Speaking about acting, now I'm getting into my negatives. Apart from Chung Cho, and probably Christopher Watts, because everything he's in, he's very charming, he does his best. But everyone else just seems like they're in a commercial. There was a lot of celebrity cameos that some of them I didn't even notice. There was Harrison Ford, Laura Dern, Neil Patrick Harrison, and Kristen Wiig. And yes, I said Kristen Wiig as a cameo because her character was in the film for like 30 minutes or a little bit more. And then she just completely disappeared. These celebrity cameos just doesn't have any weight in them. Like, they are acting as if they were in a TV commercial or something. They didn't give anything substantial or anything very constructive to the movie. And even Matt Damon, he was a really good actor. Like, if you see movies like Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne trilogy, or Good Will Hunting, he is a really, really good actor. But here, he acted as if he was Mark Wahlberg. And he keep on saying things like, "Hey guys, how is it going? Oh, you've been downsized? Wow, I want to go into there too." There wasn't enough joke made about Mark Damon look like Mark Wahlberg, but seriously, in this film, he acted as if he was Mark Wahlberg, but not in a good sense. But the biggest problem with this movie is the screenplay. Without a doubt, it is the most broken screenplay I've seen out of any movie this year. Now, I don't like to criticize movies in my channel, because personally, I understand how hard it is to make a movie, let alone for one to be released. I know it takes a lot of collaboration. I know it takes a lot of time and energy, and people has to put their heart and soul into it. But I'm sorry, this screenplay is just really, really, really bad. There's no other way to put it. Basically, the first hour of the movie, you can actually cut it and it won't make any difference. The first hour is an extensive TV commercial for being downsizing. I'm not even joking. The real story started almost an hour and 20 minutes mark in the movie. I timed it. It's kind of sad because I was not supposed to look at the phone, but the movie was so boring. I actually timed it. People barely even laughed at all in this movie. Some of the joke just straight up doesn't work. There were a few people laughing, but I can distinctly smell alcohol in the background. I wish I could have some of the alcohol. Would make the experience much more fun. The worst part about this movie is that they were trying to convey too many messages. It felt like 13 people pitched ideas, and whoever is in charge of the screenplay decided to put all of these ideas in the script, but none of them really stand out. And this is the worst thing about this movie, is that it seems so disorganized and there's absolutely no conflict. If a movie has a conflict, it could make us centralize with the character. It could push things along. But it doesn't. And on top of that, the movie is incredibly slow paced. Probably has something to do with the way the film was edited together. There was a lot of dissolves. And sometimes it just fades to black for no reason at all, which is a little bit jarring to me because I felt like a movie with so many talented people involved can make such a mess. It's quite unfortunate, actually. I know there were some people out there who actually really liked this movie. I know National Critic Association actually gave it like a top 10 movie of the year, and it's got a 64 on Metacritic. So somewhere out there, there were people really, really liking this movie. And I can understand why, because some of the ideas they introduced, it's actually pretty creative. I'll give them that. The movie is very creative. But unfortunately, I really couldn't dig into any of it because none of the ideas were executed perfectly. One example is they talk about the reason why they downsize is because of pollution. But all we heard was in the news, people say methane disperse on the North Pole or global warming happening. But we never see any of the image. We never see how this environmental issue impacts their lives. So why, as an audience, should care about it when we see none of what they're doing, none of the consequences, none of the reason why they downsize is actually really existing? So I know there may be more into it, but I didn't really like this movie, and I'm gonna give this movie 5.5 out of 10. The reason why I don't want to give this movie a lower grade is one, I really like Chung Chao's performance. She is absolutely brilliant, but very unfortunately, she's trapped in this movie. And two, the idea is very creative. So this is not absolutely worst movie of the year, oh no. But this is a very disappointing, a very poorly made movie, in my opinion. Like I said, I really don't like to trash this movie, but unfortunately, this movie just doesn't work out for me. Guys, thank you so much for seeing my review. More reviews are coming very, very soon. And as always, if you think I'm good, you're pretty good too.